Hi, my dear students. I'm Amit Ajmani, your English facilitator, and I very warmly welcome you to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes. Let us continue with the next lecture of our topic vocabulary, and in this topic, we'll be studying about root of words today. I hope that till now, the few sessions that we had about vocabulary, you must have been working on them and you are practicing consistently, right? Now, in this lecture, we'll discuss about the root of words. Now, first thing is the study of the origin of words and the way in which their meanings have changed throughout history is called etymology. In this, we study that from where the words have actually originated from and how their meanings have changed with the passage of time. In this etymology, we determine the basic elements, how exactly the basic words were formed, their earliest known use, how those words were used earlier, and changes in form and meaning of a linguistic form. And it traces its transmission from one language to the another. So these are the things that etymology deals with. We are not much concerned about that, what exactly etymology deals in. Important thing is this is important as it identifies the similarities of a linguistic form with other languages. There have been so many words which have been derived from different languages. They are used in a particular language, but their origin is different. How exactly a word is formed, what is meant by root of words, let us try to relate that. In English grammar, a root is a word or word part from which other words grow. Just like a plant, it grows, it has its roots. Similarly, all the words also, they have got their roots. These are the words from which the bigger words are formed, usually through the addition of prefixes and suffixes, a few alphabets before and a few alphabets after that make a new word. For example, if we talk about the word running, the root of this word is run. Now, these prefixes and these suffixes collectively are known as affixes. So when we strip off these prefixes and suffixes, that is the affixes from these words, what is left is called the root. There are certain slight spelling modifications at times, but what is left is called a root. Now, the root is the basis of a new word, but even then it is the basis of a new word. It may not be typically form a stand-alone word on its own. If we are talking about a particular root, this doesn't mean that particular root has a stand-alone meaning. For example, the word reject. It's a perfect example to understand that this reject word is made up by using the prefix re to the Latin root ject. So this ject is the Latin root word. We have just added the prefix re and we have formed the word reject. But an important consideration is this word ject in itself, it is not a standalone word. It is not used in the form of ject as it is. No. Reject, eject, subject, all these the words are formed by this particular root. But ject in itself, it is not a stand-alone word. Now, why we are studying the root words? What are the various advantages we get when we study the root words? Important thing is the purpose of all this what we are doing is to hone, to improve, to make better our vocabulary skills. And for that purpose, we study the roots of the words. Why so? because the knowledge of the root and its usage improves our vocabulary exponentially. Because if we know one root, then in that case, any word which is formed from that particular root, that will be cognizant. So we don't have to sit and mug up the entire word list. Just knowing the root, we can relate the meaning. How? We will just see in today's lecture itself only. And then you will be able to relate that if you know the root of a word, it becomes so easy to relate all the words which are derived from that particular root. Fine. So if we know that common word root, that can help us to deduce the meanings of new words that we encounter, because we can somehow relate these new words with the roots that we already know. The root words have more than one meaning, so we need to be cautious also. It is depending upon the usage. There are so many times that the words that look similar may be derived from different roots. So obviously, we need to confirm it with the help of a dictionary. We are making our guesses in order to analyze the word based on our concepts, based on our knowledge, based on our learning. But we need to confirm it through a dictionary. Only then we should allow any particular word to go into our vocabulary. So let us start studying about these various roots, their meanings, and the various words which are formed from these roots. For example, air or arrow. This means simply air. Now, so many words we have heard, we have read, we have even written, like aeroplane, aerospace, aerate, aerated, aerial. In all these, we can see this arrow or this air is there, which means air. Aeroplane, we know these are the vehicles that flies in the air. Aerospace is the air in the space, air. Aerate is giving way to air. Aerial is air related like acts, animals. Aerial parts of the plants which are in the parts which are in the air. So aero, everywhere it means air. So if we know the meaning of this word aero, aerospace, very easy to understand. The space, air, air in the space. Fine. Let us come to the next root, anthrop. Now this is important because aero you already knew. Anthrop, now you'll be learning. Anthrop means man. So wherever we use this anthrop, it is related to man or mankind. Let us study how. Anthropology. Anthro is man. Ology is the study. So study of man. Wherever you get this word ology, it means study of. Biology, study of bio. Sociology, study of social science. Right? Zoology, study of animals. So ology means to study and anthro means man. So anthrop is study of man. Philanthropy. Over here also we have got anthrop. Philanthropy is love for mankind. And if we use misanthrope, once again we have got the word anthrop. This is hater of mankind. So mankind we can relate. Anthropomorphism. Once again, anthrop is used here. Now, what is anthropomorphism? This is attributing human characteristics to a god, animal, or object. That is anthropomorphism. So, anthrop, wherever you encounter this word now onwards, you should know that it relates to man. Arch. It is first or prime or ruler. These are the three meanings wherever this word arch is used. For example, archbishop. This means the head of the church. monarch, the head of the state or the king. Archaeology, ology I just told you, the study of. So archeo, it is the study of the first or the origin of things. Okay. Biblio, wherever we get this biblio, it refers to book. For example, bibliophile, lover of books. Now this is very important. How? Because here you can relate both the things. Biblio is books. File, from this we can interpret that file means lover. So bibliophile is lover of books. Bibliography is the list or writings of books. Bible is the book, main book, which is considered to be the main book by the Christians. Fine. So biblio relates to book. Bio, it relates to life. Its meaning is life. So all the words using this bio relates to life. Biology, ology is the study of bio, that is life. Biography, graphy, we have just seen the writings of books. Biography is writings on life. Biosphere, sphere around us, that is around living organisms, that is biosphere. Next word, root word is cent, which means 100. For example, centenary, that is 100 years anniversary. Per cent means per 100. Century, that is 100 years. So everywhere we use cent, this cent means 100. Now this cent, we are talking about the root of the word. Otherwise we know that it is the currency also, dollars and cents. That is also cent, but that is a standalone word which has a different meaning. We are using this cent in the form of a root from where other words have been formed, like centenary, percent and century. Got it? Next is side. Now this side is used always as a suffix at the end of the word, and it means to kill. Patricide. Patri is father, so to kill, father. Matricide. Matri is related to mother, so to kill, mother. Fratricide. Fratry is brother, to kill brother. Genocide, to kill the whole genes, the whole race. Similarly, we have studied in science the words like insecticides. Now, sides means to kill insects. Similarly, pesticides. Side means to kill. Whom? To kill pests. Rodenticide. Side is to kill rodents. So you see, just by knowing this word side, just by knowing this word bio or biblio or ology or graphy. Now wherever we get this ology at the end, this simply means study of. Similarly, wherever we get side at the end, that means to kill. Pesticide, insecticide, rodenticide, fungicide, right? These are all the words which we can easily relate if we know that the meaning of side is to kill. Next is crazy. Crazy is to rule. It is also used as a suffix also. Democracy, the rule of the people. Gerontocracy, that is the rule by the old people. Aristocracy, rule by the elite people. Wherever crazy is used, it means to rule. Fine. Dumb. Now this term is related to skin. Wherever derm is being used, we are talking about skin. For example, dermatology. Derm is skin, ology is study of the skin. Pachyderm, that is tough skinned. Epidermal, epi is outer, derm is skin, so outer layer of skin. Things become quite easy when you relate, when you learn these roots. Next is ego. Ego means self. For example, egoist is a word which is formed of this root word ego. So egoist is preoccupied with oneself. Egotist, is the feeling of superiority about ourselves. Alter ego is the other self. So wherever ego is used, we see this self comes into play. Okay. Next is you. This means good. For example, eulogize, that is to praise. Euphony, that is good music, pleasant music. Euthanasia, that is mercy killing, to kill for the good of people. You are killing those people whom you are just having mercy that they are suffering. So rather than make them suffer, you kill them. That is euthanasia. Clear? Next root word is acri, which means bitter. For example, acrimony. It is the feeling of hatred, the feeling of bitterness. Acrid, that is bitter, foul smelling thing. That is called acrid. Next, we all know tele. Now, this tele we relate with the telephones, but what exactly is the real meaning? It means far. So telephone, it is the means of talking the far off distances. Telegram, this is the means of writing. Telepathy, it is the feelings felt at a distance. Getting my point? How these things work out? We need to work on it, no doubt about it. But once we get this particular habit of knowing the roots and we remember somewhere, somehow, whenever we encounter any new word having these roots, it will click to us what exactly it possibly means. And trust me, more than 80-85% times, your guess will be right. But of course, practically, we will realize after some time it's too soon because you are just reading it. You need to consistently apply it in your life. You need to use these words. You need to be consistent while reading. You need to remember. Then only it will enhance your vocabulary. Let us come to the next word. Pathos. Pathos means emotion. Patho or pathy is sympathy. That is the similar feelings. Apathy, that is indifference. Antipathy is opposite feelings, that is feeling of hatred towards anyone. Ject means throw out. Reject, that is to discard, throw. Inject is throwing in. Eject is of course bringing out. Similarly, sect is a root word which means cut out. For example, intersect, that is the point of crossing where two lines cut each other. Section, that is a part. Section is a part. Dissect is to cut out. We do the dissection in science. Dissection is done to cut out the things. Vis is to see. Vision, that is our eyesight. Visible, which can be seen, right? Envision, see beyond something. So wherever we have got this vis, it means the sight, you can see. Vor means eat or eat greedily. That is vor. This is the root word. For example, voracious. Voracious is greedy. It refers to a greedy person. Carnivorous, that is flesh eating. Devour, that is gulp away. Herbivorous, grass or plant eating. Clear? Sen, wherever we use this sen, it refers to old. For example, senior, experienced. He is the person, the senior is a person who is experienced due to his age. Senate, the council of senior members. Senile, this is mentally being unstable due to old age. So seen wherever is being used, this refers to old. So these are a few roots of words which you need to remember, and after knowing, let us try to use let us try to do an exercise where we will be using all these roots. Let us see what the question says. Make new words combining the root word and one of the following prefixes. These are the prefixes given to us: D, over, anti, pre, dis. The root word is place. What exactly we use before them? Is it deplace, overplace, antiplace, preplace, or displace? This will be displace. To remove something from one point to another, that is to displace it, to change the position. Next root word is code. What will be used with code? D, decode. There is a code which we are removing. D is for removal. So decode. Vent is an opening. Devent, overvent, antivent, prevent, disvent. Prevent. Prevent is to avoid something. Social. What exactly will be the prefix used here? Is it desocial, oversocial, antisocial, pre-social, or dissocial? I think you guessed it right. It is antisocial. Anti is against. Against society will be antisocial. Next is obey. To obey someone. De-obey, over-obey, anti-obey, pre-obey, or disobey. Again correct. Disobey. Right? If you are not actually going according to the some other person, that is disobeying someone. Next, okay, let me show the words also. Act. What are we going to use? De-act, overact, anti-act, pre-act, or disact? Here we'll be using overact. Septic. What we use with septic? Deseptic, overseptic, antiseptic, preseptic, dysseptic. It is antiseptic. Against septic, a medicine which works against medicine, against the infections. The septic. Age. De-age, overage, anti-age, pre-age, disage, overage. They are very simple, if you just relate them. Pend. Depend, overpend, anti-vend, prepend, dispend. It is depend. 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 Serve. What are we going to use? Deserve, overserve, anti-serve, preserve, disserve. It is preserve. To preserve something. Next word is our confidence. Of course, everybody knows it is overconfidence. We use over with confidence. Next word is pone. Either it is postpone if you are delaying something, or the word which is given to us, we are going to make use of that, prepone. We are making or scheduling something ahead of what exactly the plan was. Continue, the word is discontinue. Compose, we use the word it becomes decompose. Clockwise, we use before it anti, so it becomes anti-clockwise. So these are just the root words with which we have used our so-called prefixes, like pre, like over, like de, like anti, like dis, like pre, all these, and we get new words. Fine. So if we know the root words, we can use, we can understand, we can learn a lot many new words based on these. Now let us see in this exercise. Choose the correct meanings of the given root words. Now root words are given to us. We have to choose the correct meaning. Duo. Duo is 1, 2, 3 or 4. We have always known that duo refers to two. Dual glands. Right? Duo is related to two. Duel is between a fight between two people. Odd. AUD. Odd refers to light, air, sound or water. Now just try to make some word using this odd and you will be able to relate the meaning. auditory nerves. Auditory, anything auditory means related to sound, right? So odd, wherever it is used, related to sound. Auditory, auditorium, we are using odd. Fine. Next, biblio. We just seen above in the table. Biblio, vehicle, college, school or book. It refers to book. Side, we just saw. Side is to kill. Okay. Ego. Ego, I hope you remember what is ego. Relates to self. It's not other or together or another. Relates to self. So these are just a few examples. Whenever you are reading or studying, whenever you are listening to someone, just try to focus on all the words that you read or to listen. Whenever you focus on the words, you are able to relate lot many new words that have been spoken or that have been written which were not there in your vocabulary. Now once you get to know these words, try to break them off and try to relate how exactly these words may have been made, and then using your knowledge, using your till now learning, and of course a lot of practice that you will be doing further, then just try to make a guess about the meaning of that word. If you are able to do so, very good. If you are not able to do so, not a worry at all. In both the cases, even though you are able to guess it, but in both the cases, try to refer to a dictionary and try to confirm to yourself that whatever meaning you have comprehended by reading that particular new word, is it actually the same meaning conveyed by the word or not? If yes, then you will be confirmed and now it will be there in your vocabulary forever. If not, then you just make a note of it and you just try to understand what exactly is the meaning given in the dictionary, and again now relate it with the word. Once again, try to have that separated broken parts and try to make out okay, this word is meaning is this, so somewhere somehow this particular word or the root of the word must mean this, and then try to have two or three more of such words and try to find out that whether the analysis that you have made is perfectly okay or not. If yes, now you have learned that new word. This is more important. Correct? So these are the roots of the words. You need to go through these roots, this particular table, all the meanings, and they are just basically a few. There are so many words in English vocabulary, we can't even count. And even if 5% of those words are made up of some roots, obviously it is practically very difficult to learn all those. But the maximum you do, the better you will become. Fine. So I hope that whatever is being taught in this particular lecture, you must have understood. And again, I always say it and will always say in all my lectures, because that is what is the most important thing. Keep working. Make sure that after taking this lecture, after reading, you are actually implementing these things in your day-to-day life, or you are trying your level best in order to do so. Because if you are not doing it, there is no point of reading and understanding. We are not computers that anything that is just being sent to our brain once through our ears, that whatever we have read through our eyes or whatever we have listened through our ears, once it goes to our brain, the file is going to be saved in our memory disk. There is no such hard disk in our brain. We tend to forget. We are humans. Human memory is short lived. Correct? So, if we want something to be a part of us, then in that case, we need to try to use it. Clear to all? So, just go through it. We'll meet in the next lecture talking about another certain things that is going to enhance your vocabulary. Till then, keep working, keep studying, and of course, take care of yourself. Have a good time. Thank you so much for being with me. We'll meet soon in the next lecture. Take care once again. Bye, everyone.